the Prime Hybrid Seated Hamstring Curl. This is my favorite seated hamstring curl that I've ever used. Pin loaded, so drop the weight down to something nice and light. Got the cam here as well, which will adjust the resistance through the movement. So my recommendation is starting on number 1 for pretty much every movement, except for this machine. I like this machine on setting number 5. My view on lying hamstring curls when your hip is extended, and that's how we want to target the contracted position. This one is lengthened because your hips are flexed, and this is where I like to target the stretch position a little more, and that's why I start on number 5. I like this all the way up, setting number A. You can start lower, but what's the point? Stretch position exercise loaded all the way up to the top, and then from here it's a little bit more difficult to get the right setup. We've got this hinge point here, which is where the machine rotates, and we want our knee to be very close to in line with this joint. So we don't want our knees all the way back or all the way forwards. That'll dictate where the seating, the backrest will be. I'm gonna do one leg, but you can do 1 or 2 legs on this exercise. For me, knee position, lock it down, just have a look at it. Knee position for me is pretty good there. The seat's a little far back, see I'm kind of leant back. I actually want to be fairly hips flexed, so as much of a flexed hip position as possible to get as much length out of those hamstrings as I can, rather than leaning back, tilting the pelvis and shortening those hamstrings. You've got a seatbelt on this too, so you can lock yourself in, because what happens through the movement is your hips like to slide forwards, especially when you're going heavier and you're going harder. Towards the end of the set, our position completely changes. So this seatbelt is set on a 45-degree angle back to lock you down and back. I recommend using this. That's why I put it on the machine. Seating position here, knees still in a good position. Lower back is like locked into the seat there. Seatbelt runs through the bottom, and then move that out of the way and do a U-turn around the top. And then these seatbelts I love because you can just lock them down, pull it, it's tight, it's done. So you want to lock yourself in nice and tight there. That's where it's comfortable to put it, but there's going to be movement with my knee here through the exercise. So I like to lock it down 1 closer, and I'm locked into position. So use the handles. You've got the seatbelt locking you in there as well. And want to run through as full of a range of motion as possible. This is more difficult at the top because of the setting that we have it on there. This is really hitting the hamstrings in the stretch position, which is what this machine was built for. Seatbelt to undo that, we come in here and just push this down, and then the seatbelt untightens. The only other thing I didn't speak of, because it was in a good position for me, I should have, is the ankle pad. We don't want this on your heels, and we don't want it halfway down your shin. Somewhere in the middle here is a good position for this to be, so this is just easy to adjust there. Guys, this one's a more difficult exercise to set up on, so make sure you set up well on it. Use those little tips and tricks that I mentioned, and that's it guys. Enjoy, train hard.